Sam or Pam?
Sam with an S.
Carol, calling in overlooking the picturesque Waveland Golf Course.
There you go. Nice. And Joe K, who literally just registered for class 30 minutes ago. Miss Joe K.
I said procrastination at its finest. That's me.
Yes.
I'm calling from Ankeny, Iowa. Joe K. Boyle.
Nice. And Lynn Hicks.
Yeah, this is Larry, Lynn's husband, and so I don't know why it logged in under Lynn's name, but yeah, I'm here. I do the cooking, and I'm excited to do this, and I'm in Indianola, Iowa.
Awesome. Thank you, Larry, and I'm glad that you get to cook for your wife, Lynn. I bet she really appreciates that.
I learned long ago I needed to learn how to cook. Now the cleanup, she is all-star on the cleanup. So it's worked for 30 years, so we're gonna keep with that.
There you go. That's a good combination. I'm glad to see your face because I hadn't seen it for a couple years, I think, perhaps. So I'm glad you're here, Larry.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to
Okay.
be
And the Lynn Hicks here. You maybe just froze.
Uh-oh.
I think he's frozen. He's frozen with a smile.
Frozen time.
Okay, so Lynn, I know, is calling in from Des Moines. He can introduce himself later. And then Pam, where are you calling from?
I'm downtown Des Moines.
Okay, and Pam, this is your first cooking class, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and Pam's in a lot of our programs that we're glad that you're here. And then we have one new face here. That's Pam.
That's got to be me.
Yeah.
I'm Susan Stewart. I'm in Waukee. And yeah, I just got done with my after chemo nap because I had chemo this morning. And so I'm excited to be changing the way I eat.
Wow, Susan. Well, bless your heart, napping and then joining us. That is amazing. That gives the rest of us absolutely no excuses whatsoever. I'm really glad that you're here. Welcome to ABC Programming and welcome to this cooking class. So we're pretty go as you flow. Teresa's gonna set us off here with what we want to do to this amazing. And as we cook, Lori Graff will speak as well. And then we always have opportunity for Q&A. So if you need to interject and interrupt anything we're doing, please feel free to do so. We can't really fight back anyway. So the forum is all of ours. So without further ado, we're going to get Teresa started here on this great recipe.
I have a quick question. Do you want the mics off while we're cooking if we're all going to be banging around our kitchens? Do you want our mics off?
Jill will mute you, right?
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Jill will mute and raise your hand if you want to ask a question, or literally on the Zoom class, you can use the function to raise your hand, or you can just raise your hand and Jill will unmute you. So yes, good question, Susan. Susan, right?
Yes.
Yes, got it. Okay. Welcome. As Mary said, we have been doing this for a bit, and we just really enjoy the cook-alongs. It's not so much that I'm teaching you how to cook. We're just kind of making sure we get a great dinner, and there's tips and hacks along the way. So tonight is very, very simple. Salmon fillets and arugula salad. So you're all following the recipe. According to Sam, he was following the recipe. So we have a skin side and we have a flesh side. So you've patted your fillets dry and then salt and pepper on the flesh side. And I use, let's see what I use tonight. I used a kosher sea salt and just a cracked black pepper. And that is a season to your liking. So we're going to use whatever pan you want to use, but I like using cast iron. I think you can get a great sear on whatever protein you're using. And once they're hot, it's easy to regulate. So I like to say we do a 3 or 4 minute hot, I'm using a high BTU burner, so it probably won't take 4 minutes. But at some point, we're gonna kind of put our hand close to the pan and we're gonna know if it's hot or not. Mine is not hot yet. Now I do have kind of asbestos hands, everyone, so there may be some that are more sensitive to that test. But I use my hand. We can also, once the pan gets hot, we'll put our olive oil in, and if you see it start to ripple, then again, it's hot enough. I'm just using an extra virgin olive oil. You can use whatever olive oil you have. More than often, you don't want to use an expensive olive oil if you're gonna, you want to use a good olive oil, but don't use your most expensive because you're going to lose it when it hits the pan with the heat. So it's good to use olive oil, just don't have to use your most expensive kind
When you're cooking.
when you're cooking. Thank you.
So what you're saying is the expensive olive oil is good to use when you are adding it after something's been cooked.
Right. There are many different price points, and we've had many discussions about olive oils in this class. Lori can attest to that. Lori Graff. And, you know, you spend $20, you're fine. If you're using your $40 kind, I'd save it.
So Teresa, I have a question. Any preference of why you would buy salmon with skin on or skin off?
Well, that's probably better for Lori, but I think it still retains the fat. And the
Okay.
fat is good for us. What fat would that be?
Omega. So we could
Yeah.
unmute Lori and she could tell
Right,
us, but
right.
yeah, I think omega-6 and omega-3
Right.
being in there.
And we're gonna start skin side down. So you're gonna have a hot pan with hot oil. And you won't be able to see this on the video, but my pan is really shiny and my oil is rippling. So we're gonna set this, and I know it says to set one end first. So pretty, and you'll see it shrink up right away, that skin will. And then it suggests you just kind of put it down. We're kind of spattering a little bit, so I'm gonna turn it down just a hair. And then you're gonna put, I know it said if you're cooking with 4, I'm just doing 2. But I don't know if you can see how they're kind of close, but they're not touching. And I'm gonna put my timer on for 4 minutes. Okay. I didn't do my seasoning.
Oh.
And I think I'm unmuted, correct?
Yep.
Yep. So the benefit of the skin would really be flavor versus nutrition. And the beautiful thing is when Teresa shows you how to cook these salmon fillets, the skin peels right off, but it's really going to seal in all that flavor and juices versus having a dry salmon, and the drier the salmon it becomes, the more fishy the flavor. So it's really about flavor.
Okay. This is what we do on the fly, folks. So I was supposed to put that seasoning on before I put the fish in the pan, but I didn't. But we're gonna be okay. So all I did was put my seasoning, my dry rub on my fish after I put it in the pan. You're gonna be okay.
So Teresa, if we did it before the skillet, would we put it on both sides or just the non-skin side?
You don't have to put it on both sides because, as Lori said, that skin's gonna come right off.
Okay,
You're just getting a little more maybe flavor on it, but it's gonna come right off.
okay.
So
And if you had a
Not
dry
going
rub, is there an ideal time to let it set on the fish before you cook or anything like that?
the recipe didn't suggest, but you could do 2 or 3 minutes. And
Okay.
it'll be fine. But you can kind of see as on the thinner parts, right? You're getting some white edges. So this is only gonna take, that's, again, just a couple minutes in. How's everybody doing?
We're gonna unmute so people can give some feedback here and let us know if you've got your salmon in your hot skillet yet.
Well, it just looks like he's staring at the TV. Oh, Larry's got a
We
question.
need to get unmuted if we can unmute him.
Larry.
There we go. Okay, Larry, go ahead and start again, Larry. We couldn't hear you.
Leaf oregano or dried, powdered ground oregano? I use leaf. I guess it doesn't matter that, but
No, I use leaf as well, Larry.
okay, thank you. Yeah.
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 Leaf.
The Mediterranean one? For most
Yes.
of us?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
And then the premium on the paprika.
Right, it's still here. I love that store.
Oh, there you go. If I would have known any better, I would have thought you and Teresa shopped together today.
No, this is the best spice store ever.
All right, so my timer went off. So I'm ready to flip mine. How's everybody else doing?
Not yet. Not there.
Yeah,
So
it's not
you,
moving, so I'm not gonna flip it yet,
so you timed it for 3 or 4 minutes, Teresa, is that what you
Yeah.
said?
right? And if it doesn't want to release, it's not ready. So I'm gonna wait just another minute.
Vicky, do you have yours in the skillet?
Mine is not in
No,
the skillet
someone
yet.
called me from work, so I got behind, but I'm getting there. Got my skillet heating up.
Joe,
I'm not in the
yours
skillet yet.
skillet?
Yes, mine's in. I didn't put it in
Yeah.
exactly the same time as Teresa, but I'm coming along.
Susan, did you get yours in?
It's just about to go in. I had to mix my spices.
Okay.
Good.
And Pam, do you have yours in?
Two. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Now,
Okay, great.
keep white at the bottom before I flip it over.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not yet.
And it'll tell you when it's ready to flip. It'll do the easy release.
I didn't know that.
Most
No.
proteins.
So do you mean easy release from the skin? The skin will stay or the whole thing will release?
The whole thing should release. You got your fish spatula or something that'll pick it up. I'm gonna flip mine.
Yeah. Got us back.
Look at Lori, my skin came right
Yeah.
off when I flipped it.
So is that's a good thing?
It's okay.
Yeah, it's a good thing. When, if you're cooking it in the oven, then it doesn't come off like that. But yeah, the skin comes off very, very easily. So people are afraid of the skin, but when cooked properly, it comes right off.
Right. Mine came right off. Must have been cooked properly.
You get grease splatters all over.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Say that again, Pam.
Getting grease splatters all over.
Of course. Yes. My kitchen's a mess. What'd you say, Lynn?
So how long after you flip?
So really only a minute after you flip, and then you're gonna turn off your skillet.
Must see when it well done.
Yeah.
Turn it off a minute after.
Yeah, really dry it out.
Do you turn it off right after you flip?
Yeah, I
Okay.
do, because the cast iron has residual heat, and you really only need about another minute.
So flip it, turn the skillet off, about another minute after that.
So it's only 1 minute on the pink side that it cooks?
Because
Okay.
you have a cast iron skillet that's really hot, and it has residual heat.
Okay.
And
This is my
it's
first time
beautiful.
cooking on one. I bought one just for the class. I've never cooked on a cast iron.
Oh, we could talk to you about cast iron. That's awesome.
Congratulations on a very worthy purchase.
Yeah.
You will
I've been
use
wanting
it-
one for a while.
Yeah,
I'm seasoned for about 40 years, coming from the South. We had,
yeah.
yeah, cast iron skillet. That was something my mom said, gotta have one. So mine's old.
Teresa, is yours green on the?
Mine is turquoise, yes. It's
Turquoise.
like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's really cast iron.
It's a very
yeah, and Jill just said I'm color coordinated tonight. I matched my pan.
Yeah.
It's a goal every night when I cook to match my pan.
So Lori, would you talk about, we get a lot of questions about the sourcing of fish. Would you like to share your opinion based on what you read about is there a difference between wild and fish or pond and park, all that jazz?
There is a definite difference. Your wild salmon is definitely going to have less of the mercury and other toxins. I do know that it is more expensive, but it is going to be free of bad stuff. So I do recommend wild salmon whenever you can. With that being said, though, consuming enough omega-3 or omega-3 on a regular basis is going to be more important than avoiding it because you aren't buying wild salmon.
So Lynn must have caught a fish. He wants to show.
I think he's being a show off.
Did you catch a
I'm
fish?
going to show off a little bit. Here's where I got mine. First of all, if you're looking for salmon, I'm a big fan of not just wild, but wild Alaskan because I think it's organic. So I was just showing, so I was bragging because I was visiting my daughter, and that's a boat that had just come from Alaska. So I bought my fish off the boat, Bellingham Harbor in Washington State, and so I brought it back on the plane in dry ice. So I better not have screwed it up.
We're hoping you didn't either. Don't overcook it. Don't overcook it.
It's done and it looks nice, and I've got it's still pink inside. So
good. So, there's Jeff. While you're waiting for to pull your salmon out of the pan, you've got your lemon. And do you have a microplane or something that you can zest your lemon with? Anybody have one of these?
Sam is shaking his head yes.
All right.
Larry's making a face. I don't know if that's a yes face or a no face.
That's a no face, but I guess there's probably a spot downtown East Village where you can buy one.
I think I know a spot.
It's
You can buy
just
one.
down from
Where I got mine.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
I'm about to flip the skin side over. Am I wanting, if the skin doesn't come off, do I need to remove it?
No, you
Okay.
don't need to worry about that in your pan.
Okay.
It will either remove as you flip it, or once you put it on your dish, it'll come off very easy.
Okay, no.
All right. So again, simple flavors, fresh lemon. So cut your lemon. We're gonna zest our lemon, right? And then we're also gonna squeeze the lemon. So if you can do this with your hand, or you can do it with a lemon squeezer, whatever you have. So we're gonna squeeze before we take it out of the pan. We're gonna do that lemon right over our salmon and our zest. So we just have a nice little lemon zest. We can do more if you want, but so we've got lemon on our salmon, and we're gonna do lemon on our arugula. Arugula. Practice that.
Arugula. I will have to say this zester, this microplane that I purchased from Kitchen Collage, I use a lot. It was definitely a good kitchen assessment.
You got it.
I don't know if that made any sense. Assessment?
You got
Accessory.
it. You got it.
And hi, Linda. I don't think I said hello to you. I'm glad you're on this Zoom cooking class as well.
Where's Linda?
I saw that she was tuned in, but we don't see her face. But hello, Linda. Okay, how's everybody doing with their salmon and their zesting and squeezing?
I think mostly Jeff's drinking.
I just flipped my salmon, so I've got my midden on the other side, and I juiced my lemon.
Awesome.
And then that's you, Susan?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I
So-
couldn't get my iPad to work, so I'm on a tiny little phone, so my apologies.
Okay. Yeah, no
Are we
problem.
this big?
Teresa, so Teresa, you said cook 1 more minute and then you turn the skillet off, but it's sitting there for longer than a minute. So
I
that's
know.
okay?
That's residual heat, right?
Okay.
So you don't overcook. You can use your thermometer if you're worried whether it's too rare for you. But there's enough heat there that everyone's fish should be absolutely delicious and soft and flaky, because you know when you have fish that's kind of tough and dry, you've cooked it far too long.
What temperature would we want?
Okay.
You're still on mute.
Let's see, it recommends 120 for medium rare and 130 for medium.
So Teresa, if I had a piece of fish that did not have skin on it, would I still cook it the same? Would it still be 3 to 4 minutes on one side and 1 minute on the other?
Yeah, it just depends on size, right? For Easter, just for example, I did salmon, and there's a recipe I like that is fennel and orange and onion. And so you slice all that up and saute it with oil, and then you add the zest of an orange and orange juice, and you let that orange juice kind of reduce a little bit so it's kind of syrupy, and that's put on a raw piece of salmon, and the oven is 500 degrees, and you put that salmon on parchment paper at 500 degrees for 20 minutes. That's a whole fish, and it is perfect every time, and you can serve it fresh out of the oven, or you can serve it at room temp, which is the way I like to serve it. Then I don't have to get in a hurry about what I'm doing, and I can make it ahead of time. So salmon is really easy, and you have no fear. You should not be afraid of cooking salmon. It's so easy. I don't know, would you agree, Lori?
I would agree. And it takes on, salmon has a stronger flavor, but it can be married with so many flavors. Like here we're using lemon, you use the orange and fennel, you can use Asian, Mediterranean, just so many options.
Right. The tzatziki sauce, we're not making tzatziki sauce, but that's a yummy little cucumber yogurt. Goes back to those Mediterranean flavors. That's a good one. Okay, so we've got fish, and I'm going to pull mine out of the skillet. And I got this. Man, fish and cooking in Iowa has come a long way. So right now, that's where we're at. But we're going to do our salad here, and that'll make this plate even prettier. And I'm sure your kitchens all smell as wonderful as this one does. Is that oregano and that paprika and that garlic with the olive oil smells so wonderful. How y'all doing? Everybody doing good?
Yep.
Cooking along, drinking along, whatever you got going there.
Yep.
So Lori, anything you want to talk about with why we should have fish in our diet, and maybe what's a good goal to aim for starting out if we don't eat a lot of fish, like about and how we integrate and how to start with that and why?
Well, omega-3 has been studied more than any other nutrient. And not only has it been studied more, but the proven benefits are extreme. I mean, they're extreme if you're looking for brain health, if you're looking for heart health, if you're looking for inflammatory. The omega-3 not only works singly, but will go into the body and produce other mechanisms to decrease our inflammation. I mean, the power of omega-3 is so incredibly high and powerful, way beyond any pharmaceutical drug. In fact, they use really high dose omega-3s for some of the pharmaceutical drugs. And if you're just starting out, the recommendation would be to consume 3 to 4 ounces twice a week. And then depending upon your health condition, if you have any of the disease states that I just mentioned, then you would want to consume it on a more frequent basis, maybe up to 4 times. One of the reasons that our need for omega-3 is higher than it was, let's say, 50 years ago is because we consume so much omega-6, which comes in all of our oils. So olive oil, safflower oil, sunflower oil, because it's in almost anything that's prepared and because it's in all of our salad dressings. So then our need for omega-3 becomes even higher.
Thanks,
So
Lori.
Lori, how many ounces of omega-3 would be in one of these fillets, for instance?
Oh, I should know. I have that written down. And I don't
I'll
remember.
Google it.
Yeah.
Any comments on the fat content between a farm raised and a wild caught salmon? Because it appears that the farm raised has more fat in it.
Do you think that's because it's manipulated to have more fat?
No, I think it's because they feed them like crazy and they're just laying around eating.
Less movement, very, very possible. Yes, it's going to depend upon several things. It's also going to depend upon where the wild caught salmon are from and the time of season, because the colder the water, the higher the fat content it will also have. So there are several different factors in it. Another factor is if the wild caught salmon, like Lynn has, is a bright pink, it's from what they ate. So therefore you're getting more antioxidants from that pink flavor. Overall, wild salmon is going to be a healthier choice. There's just no ifs, ands, and buts about that. But over not getting omega-3, there's way more benefits to getting omega-3 than not. And that's sometimes the message that's lost. And overall, especially in Iowa, being we're not the salmon state, we just do not consume enough to get the wonderful health benefits.
And depending on how you feel about CSAs or shipping fish, there is, it's called Sitka salmon shares, and they do more than salmon, and it's a per month subscription model, much like we do CSAs in Iowa for produce or meats. Sitka salmon shares does that for fish. And it has a good reputation, and you kind of buy in at what level you want to. But if you want to be guaranteed really good fish, maybe a couple times a month or 4 times a month, you would be guaranteed really good fish. So look that up. I'm not paid by them to say that. I just know from experience that their product is good.
And
It
here's
just
the
popped
thing.
up on my Instagram account.
What did you say?
What was that?
I said that Sitka I just noticed them. They popped up on my, how you get those ads? They're clearly not random, but they just popped up. They knew that I was going to be cooking this. They
know.
popped up
They
last
did.
night.
They
Okay,
did.
here we go. I have it. Salmon, 3.5 ounces gives you 2,200 milligrams.
Second.
So a very healthy dose.
Good. Good. Like over the top.
Plus,
It's like-
you're getting to eat and getting really good omega-3 oil is expensive. So you might as well get it in your fish twice a week versus paying for it in a supplement, because you're still going to pay about the same.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it, because I've heard, people talk about, well, I can't budget. It's hard to budget fish. So if you're looking at it as if you're eating it rather than taking the supplement, that's a good kind of way to look at it, Lori. I've never really kind of made that connection.
Yeah, because you can get less expensive omega-3 oils, but the less expensive means it's been on the ship the longest and it does degrade. And so it loses a lot of the healthy properties. And so you're taking the omega-3, but not really getting the benefits.
All right, I think we're ready to do our salad.
So simple salad. Arugula is pepper lettuce. It's good in smoothies. It's good in salads. It's good all the way around. So we've already got our pepper. We're going to add our lemon, our half lemon. Again, you can squeeze with your hands, or as I prefer, with a lemon squeezer. Okay, we've got our lemon in there. Now, how much oil? Well, watch, right? We're going to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. That ought to be enough. So 5 ounces of arugula, half a lemon, and 4 seconds worth of olive oil.
Depending on how fast you pour that olive oil.
Right. How fast it comes out. Okay. So I'm going to toss that around. Right? Simple, simple, simple. And here is my favorite salt in the world. This is salt that is fleur de sel. So it's the top layer of the salt as it's harvested. And it is very flavorful. You don't have to use a lot. And again, it's not inexpensive. You don't want to cook with it. It's special. It should go on your green beans or your tomatoes or your salad. It's a finishing salt. So, got this. We'll serve it up a little bit. I notice there's some that are enjoying their salmon already. How are you doing, Susan?
I muted everybody.
Okay.
Did I just unmute myself?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Another huge benefit of the salmon, and I thought of this when we were talking about the salt, is the 3.5 ounce portion contains more potassium than a banana.
Wow.
Yeah. And when we're always saying limit salt to improve blood pressure, it isn't salt. It's we need to increase our potassium, increase our potassium, increase our potassium. And as we age, we make less stomach acid, and the less salt that we consume, it decreases our stomach acid even further, making it harder and harder for us to digest our proteins and actually becoming more protein deficient as we age, even if we're consuming it. So this is a win-win-win meal because we have the omega-3, we have the potassium in the salmon, we have the magnesium in the leafy greens with that little dash of salt.
So we have winner salmon dinner.
Touche. Nice. Nice. Lori, what if somebody wanted to eat the skin on the salmon?
Yummy.
You could. I don't like it, but
I do.
So are there any other added health benefits to the skin if someone wanted to eat it?
you know what? I don't know how much omega-3 is in the skin, so that's a good question. I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, did I actually stump you for the first time on the
Yes.
face of the earth? Holy cannoli.
And I don't even have it at my fingertips.
Ah, beautiful, Teresa. What a great and fairly easy dish. I will have to say, of all the recipes we've done, this may be the dish with the least amount of ingredients and prep, but also very beautiful. And how's it taste so far? Vicki, looks like you're having a bite there. How did yours turn out?
It's wonderful. And I've always baked or grilled, not pan-seared. So this is easy.
So how would you compare it to those other methods? Do you have
I like the crispy spices on the top. It's wonderful.
Okay, nice. So you're happy with how the texture turned out on your
Yes.
first time pan searing? Anybody else, any comments? If this was your first time pan searing, how you think it went? I see Sam's nodding his head. It sounds like it's a good meal there. Larry, how did yours turn out?
Very well. It's delicious. I would back off the oregano a little bit next time.
Okay, all
I
right.
agree with you, Larry.
Yeah, it overpowers it a bit.
Yeah, Lynn, how did yours turn out?
I don't know if you can see it. I think it did. It was,
Wait, Larry.
it had a good coach. I think it's very, very good.
Great, because I've harassed Lynn about overcooking his fish, so I'm really glad that he signed up for this class and will never overcook a fish again.
Yeah, I think there may have been already.
Never say never, right, Lynn?
Yeah,
How about you, okay? How's it going?
I think ours turned out well.
Fantastic.
I've
Pam, how did
overcooked my fish. I will never overcook my fish again.
You'll never overcook your fish again. Nice.
Never, never.
Pam, does yours turn out good? Are you happy?
Look at that.
Oh, that looks great.
So pretty.
Nice, nice. And Susan, how did yours go?
I'm chewing as we speak and it's delicious.
Yay, yay.
Yeah, I prefer it
And-
over baked.
Okay, I do too. I really liked pan-seared a lot. And Linda, I don't know if you've got your mute off and if you can hear or whatever. I hope yours has turned out well. If you'd like to chime in, that would be great. And if you prefer not to, that's fine as well. All right. Well, any other questions for our chef or Lori about any of the nutrients or any questions related to that?
What are our other omega-3 rich options on fish?
Tuna and mackerel.
Tuna and mackerel.
Are there some nuts that you can eat too?
There's walnuts and there's chia seed. However, it is an ALA, and then the body takes that ALA and has to convert it into the DHA. And so you would have to consume more than a healthy portion, more than what you can, the amount that's converted is extremely, extremely, extremely.
Okay. What about eggs, Lori?
Eggs, what happen is they feed the chickens omega-3. And so it's a little more, but the body still has to convert it over. It's not going to be as high as the salmon, but that is an option.
I have a
On
question.
what they feed the eggs.
Okay.
Jeff has a question.
What's the appropriate amount of red wine to consume with this meal?
At least 3 bottles.
I want a professional opinion.
I'd say 4 bottles.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately 1 or 2 servings. So
Probably no servings.
I think it should be the number of people in the class equals the number of servings.
There you go.
I like that one.
Honor of each person cooking.
So
As long as I
Mary,
get to choose the glass size, I'm okay with that.
okay, Mary, look at in your camera. I am drinking homemade hard cider with a
Apple cider.
habanero spice to it.
ooh,
Ooh, so you made this, you brewed your cider, Vic?
I did.
Wow, congrats. Is this your first batch?
Cider.
Hmm?
Where could I buy a cider like that? If I were in Salt Lake City, where could I buy a cider like that?
Well, wait about 15 months and I'll open a little shop and you can buy it from me.
Awesome.
we're all coming to visit you, Vicky.
That's a scoop.
Yeah.
It's actually
Nice-
my
nice read in there, Lynn.
third batch, Mary.
Congrats. This is exciting. Some good experimentation before you become the official cider queen of Salt Lake City.
A cider
like it.
sommelier. Sommelier, Vicky.
There's a cidery north of Winterset on 169. It's really good. They have a jalapeno. It's really good. They run out. They sell out of everything.
What's it called? I think I had theirs. It was good at the airport. It wasn't the jalapeno, just their plain.
They have aronia berry. They have a lot of different flavors. They had a bourbon one, which was very disappointing for a bourbon drinker. So
Just stick to the straight bourbon, Larry.
yeah. Well, you're wasting your bourbon taste buds, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think I'm going to start making some this fall too. Also, so.
That's great.
I'm going to Salt Lake City to get Vicky's. I'm not going to bother making it.
I got to charge it, Sam. It's a career, so got to charge it.
I'm okay with that.
You can stay for free, but you got to buy the cider.
That's
Fair
an easy
enough.
gig.
So Susan, given that you just used your cast iron for the first time, what do you think?
I like it. I was afraid I would get the oil too hot and burn things, but it worked out just right. Looking for the ripple was kind of key for the oil.
Okay.
But yeah, I like it.
Good.
So Teresa, what tip do you want to give her for cleaning that tonight?
So, there's lots of opinions on how to clean your cast iron. And really, you're just gonna use the brush and clean it with some hot water. And then wipe it dry with a little bit, dab it dry, but put it on your top of your stove with the burner on to dry the water. And, don't forget about it. And then after I've dried the water out of mine, then I take a paper towel and take some oil and go around the pan so it's nice and oily and ready to go the next time.
Okay, good to know.
So people will say, don't use soap, and people do. Yes, or there's chainmail, and it's my favorite thing to use. Lynn's got it up over it. Yeah, it's really easy. It's not inexpensive, but it's an easy way to clean it and just shine it up. Is chainmail, but if you get soap on your cast iron and it imparts flavor, a pound of bacon will get rid of it. Really easy.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
What was it that you said you used? Chain what?
Chainmail. It's product. It's a size of like a green scratcher kind of thing, but it's all metal, and it's fine enough that it'll get all the bits off if you've gotten some tough spots. But it's really easy. And Lynn is holding his up.
I can only see one person at a time, and it doesn't.
Okay.
Go through it.
Yeah, I'm talking. You can talking through my of chain.
Wasn't chainmail what they used to hang on the back of knights? Their armor? Was it part of their armor in the past?
Right. Exactly.
That's what I'm envisioning.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's
So
true.
Susan, you can buy that at Kitchen Collage. That's where I got mine, and it has been a game changer with my cast iron skillet.
Okay.
Add me a pound of bacon.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Jeff prefers
Well,
that. I went reseason it.
I think we had another amazing cooking class. Thanks to all of you guys. We're so thankful that you guys were here and that you're taking an opportunity to cook your own meals, to cook fresh, and to learn new recipes. And these things are important of how we take care of our mind and our bodies and be able to do this in a fun way. So next month, we're trying something new for our cooking class. We're going to do a hybrid option. So we're going to be grilling fish tacos. So we'll be highlighting the beauty of fish again. And Teresa's also going to be demonstrating grilled fruit and grilled vegetables. So you can choose to do that at your home with your grill, and we will have some limited space on my deck. So you can be in person outside, as socially distanced with not 5 bottles of wine, Jeff. One.
What day is that, Mary?
It is the second Thursday in May.
Okay.
It's on our calendar and also on our Facebook page. So it's out there for registration. And once you register, then I'll just email you and ask if you're Zooming or coming in person. And everything else then will be good to go. May 13th is the date.
Lucky 13.
Yeah.
That's Billbot's birthday.
Aw, I love it.
But he
He's
can.
he's
we'll
coming
make
to Salt
room
Lake.
for Joe. Oh,
He's
okay.
coming to Salt Lake for his birthday, so.
Oh,
Okay.
great, great. Well, enjoy the rest of your meal. Thank you guys so much. And we'll see you at another cooking class, I hope.
Thank
Hi.
you. Great.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks, Mary.
Thank you, Lynn.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Thanks, Lori.
Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.